Why hello everyone. Today I am talking about a little bit of a different issue. So I've been thinking about this for a long time, and as the video can probably say, I don't agree with GrandLineReview or most other YouTubers when it comes to one particular thing. And that is their theory about Luffy's dream. Now, I'm starting this off right now. The people who I see talking about this the most are probably GrandLineReview and King of Lightning, who I am subscribed to. So this doesn't come out of a piece of hatred, and this doesn't come out of like an incentive to cause any sort of problem to them whatsoever. However, I don't agree with that. The idea that Luffy is going to get the One Piece and that his true dream is to eat all over the world for free, I personally do not agree with. And that is due to the main thematic themes that I believe are in One Piece. And one of the biggest themes that or not themes, but just something that is generally a large portion of the story is paying back your debts, which is something that is immensely important to the series. For example, in almost every single arc, in every single saga, at least, you see Luffy repaying his debt, or a character repaying their debt. For example, you have Vivi repaying the debt to Luffy by feeding him, Luffy repaying his debt to Rebecca for food, Luffy repaying his debt to Tama for feeding him. Then there's other stuff like Robin, for example. She felt not like at the end of Enies Lobby, you can clearly see that Luffy's about to thank her for catching him, but since Robin feels indebted to Luffy, she stops him right there and then. Then we have like Jinbei, who is obviously a big example of being in a great honor and having a great amount of honor, so needing to pay off his debts constantly. So why would it make sense for Luffy to eat around the world for free when there's someone who he has never paid his debt back to and is still, relatively speaking, a character who has not died? So yeah, kind of important. Who am I talking about? Well, I am talking about is Makino. Now, Makino is, as far as we can tell, the one person who Luffy has quite literally never paid back in any sort of way. There's this dynamic with the Straw Hats where, let's face it, they do all kind of owe him, because without Luffy, then they'll be dead. But then again, Luffy owes them, because without them, Luffy would be dead. And it's just that whole dynamic. Makino was feeding him, and from the way they talk about it, it was for a very long period of time. And he has straight up never paid her back, as far as we know. You know, if the next volume comes out and it turns out Luffy is actually always broke because he's just sending all his money to Makino to pay back his treasure tab, which was established in Chapter 1. So, you know, kind of a big deal. And having all this good stuff. And it's like, oh, well, you know, people could argue that that seems like a trivial thing. Luffy doesn't pay, he does not seem to accept paying back people as a trivial thing whatsoever. He literally squared up with a warlord, which I know, it's Luffy, he doesn't care about warlords, but he literally said his initial reason for punching Doflamingo in the face and liberating Dressrosa was to pay Rebecca back for feeding him. And this girl, Makino, who Luffy has known for a long period of time, who has helped them out in many situations. For example, in the flashback, between Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, she was helping Ace. So this assumes that they have a good establishing connection between each other. They have a good connection. And she's been feeding him, for the way it talks about, a long time. To the point at which Luffy doesn't visualize that he's going to be a great pirate, and he needs to be a great pirate in order to, pay her back. Also, look at Roger. Is when looking at Roger and just viewing him on screen, he seems immature and goofy, and he does seem very similar to Luffy. But they're both not stupid. And also, this applies to what has been said about Roger, which is how deeply Roger cares for his comrades. Granted, I'm paraphrasing here, but there was a statement about how Roger would decimate an entire kingdom if someone badmouthed his friends. Or friend. And now imagine said friend has been taking care of you for the longest period of time and helping you out in any way. Well, you would want to pay them back in such a terrific way. Also, it's very simple, which is something that, everyone likes. Oh, Luffy's goal has to be simple because it's Luffy. Well, that's simple. Paying back someone who took care of you. And then that will truly make Luffy the freest man on the planet, because he doesn't owe anything to anyone. Because he has paid off all of his debts once he has paid off Makino. Then he does not have anything tying him down. He is truly free. And I know, I like Attack on Titan and I'm mentioning truly free, but don't worry, it's not gonna go in that direction. Now, I am really excited to see where this theory goes. Final point. Luffy and Roger need to have a very similar dream. So, with how similar they are, it could theoretically be the eat anywhere for free, but that would also mean that the One Piece is treasure, like just strictly treasure. The only time that Luffy has necessarily done anything that, he doesn't really, or isn't, debt oriented, is when I would say on Skypiea when they took the gold without asking. However, that was obviously due for comedy. So, while necessarily not being the best reason, it would also, and unironically, that does actually line up pretty well, because then now the Shandorians and the Skyfolk don't owe Luffy anything because Luffy took their gold. So now there's no more debt. Wow, will you look at that? It's almost as if Oda is trying to remove the idea of Luffy having debt to anyone, because having debt and owing someone something is the opposite of freedom. Not the opposite, but it is a roadblock on the path to freedom. And Luffy's main character is to be as free as possible. He loves his freedom. Remember, every single character who has tried to take away freedom of others, Luffy has had a problem with. Celestial Dragons, Dom Flamingo. So Celestial Dragons and cooler Celestial Dragons. Gecko Moria. He didn't necessarily take away a decent amount of freedom, however that was never brought up, because stealing people's shadows means they can never go into the sun again, good stuff like that. And so this lack of freedom would, bother Luffy. So wouldn't, in theory, Luffy being in debt bother him? So the best way to do that is to pay back someone. And we know, or we don't know, but we can assume that Makino is going to be relevant very soon, because we're going to start learning more about Shanks. After all, Shanks' movie is right around the corner, so that's kind of important. Maybe since we're diving into Shanks, we'll dive into his kid that's might be canon to that is canon to the manga. Meanwhile, we're diving into Shanks's kid that might be canon to the manga. And Shanks might also have two kids, but hey, that's alright. Big Mom has 86 children, so I doubt it will matter. But I want to know what you guys think about this theory. Because I had. This is just my personal opinion, and as you can see, it's in stark contrast to certain other YouTubers. And I'm not doing this for, necessarily any malicious intent. It's just I disagree with this. Other people seem to like it, and you're just different opinions. But make sure you are very civil. Whoever is seeing this, you better be civil. And with that out of the way, I actually do want to know your guys' opinions, because I literally only know of like 3 theories about Luffy's actual dream. So if anyone has any like theories, even if you're just spitballing like good ideas that sound really nice to say but might not have the most evidence, give those a shot too. Leave a comment. I'm really excited about this video because it might bring up some good discussion. And without further ado, I hope I'll see you guys later. Peace out.